Hi guys, it's me, Denise again. We're going to be making sabots today. We're going to use a Arabella form. This is an Arabella form. We're going to make the bow on the back of a form sheet, and then we're going to transfer the bow to the Arabella form so that it has a natural arch like the fingernail would. So we're going to just be using some monomer, an organic nails 3D brush, and some acrylic that I made. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to get started. And we are just going to get a nice size bead of acrylic. You don't want the bead too dry. And we're going to work this acrylic kind of into like a square diamond kind of shape. And when we get it there, we're going to pat the square down, keeping nice points on both ends, and on the top and bottom part they can be a little bit rounded. Okay, so we have our kind of diamond shape, and we're just going to flatten it out like so. Now, I myself have not found a way to assure perfectly matched sizes, so I kind of use my own judgment and try to make them as close to the same size as I can. I have seen people use maybe an outline, you would call it. I myself make so many of these. I've tried to do that, and it just hasn't been something spontaneous for me. But if you have one, you can use that too. When the acrylic gets to be a little bit matte and it starts to look dull, we're going to take one side, and in this particular case, we're going to take this point and fold it over to this point. And it's starting to want to come up, so we're going to go ahead and right at the point on top and bottom, we're going to bring it over, and we're just going to stick this piece to the point on the other side. Then I want you to take your brush, and you're going to try to get inside these little creases, because what you want is to keep them open, kind of like a bow would be. So you're just going to pull it up a little bit and a little bit on the other side, making sure that it just stays tacked down. At this point, I usually use my cuticle pusher, the other end of it, and I typically just take and put a little indent in it, just to make sure that it's gonna stay. Kind of like that. Can you see it? And then this side, it's open, and that side is open. Then we're going to take our Arabella form, and we're going to gently lift this piece up off the form, and we're going to place it as close to the center, because wherever you place it on this is going to have a lot to do with the arch in your finger. So you're going to place it on this form, just like so. Now, if you don't have Arabella forms, it's okay. You don't have to have them to make this. I just have learned over the years to use them because I do I use a lot of them on my own nails, my daughter's nails. So I, for myself, want them to be a little bit round. I have found like when they're flat across the back that you pretty much have to use, you know, some acrylic or something underneath them to make sure that, you know, they don't lift or get stuck. Like when you take a shower, they will oftentimes get stuck, like under your hair will get stuck underneath the bow. So that's one of the reasons I use the Arabella forms, is just to make them more comfortable to wear the 3D art. And so they fit better. Again, we're going to do the same thing, making sure that we keep our points. And I'm going to do another video about different types of bows. This was the first bow that I ever learned, so I figured it should be the first bow that I teach. It's the first one I ever learned, and I guess this is kind of the simplest little bow you can make. And it's still nice enough that it dresses up your nails and it looks really cool. Okay, now we're going to put, oops. Okay. So we're just making a diamond shape out of it. I sometimes round off the tops of these so that they're not so pointy. But you can, again, you know, I encourage you guys to do these bows however you want to do them, and with your own style, make them however you like. Because, you know, they represent you and just, you know, a part of your creativity. So there's no right or wrong way to do this kind of stuff. And I think the more individual these things are, the more pretty they are and more attractive they are. Because if you do something that maybe I don't, it brings something to your nail art that is just you. So never feel like you have to do whatever I'm doing. And always definitely feel like, you know, you are able to add your own style to it. I would encourage you guys to do that, just to make them more personal. So we went ahead and we folded that side. And, oops, what am I doing? Now we're going to take our form. And sometimes if my, like, part of the bow gets dry or if it's taken me too long, I will get a bead of acrylic, but we don't need that right now because this one's still pretty much setting. Oh, and we're going to set it on here. If you were not, and I'm going to make, depending on how long this video was, I'm going to make another video of you making a bow just on the form. Okay, so they're not perfect, but they're both open at the top. They're pretty close to each other in size. And, you know, you guys think about this, too. When you tie a bow like this, they're not always perfect. Okay, then I just take a tiny little bead of acrylic, because I'm not using this as the center, but I'm just using this to kind of reinforce the two pieces together. Like so. Okay, then we got that. On this particular bow today, girls, I'm not going to make the long flowing ribbons that I do. We're just going to make a simple bow and start out there. So then we're going to get another bead of acrylic, just a small bead like this, and we're going to use this for the center. We're going to let this get kind of matte too, and we don't want to pick it up too soon. And I would encourage you on this center part too to be as creative as you like. I know some people that I know will actually like kind of like work lines into it, like kind of like that. I don't do it. I don't know why. I guess it's just my personal preference. I usually don't do that. I do these centerpieces sometimes thinner, thicker, depending on like what style I want my bow to look like that day. So again, you know, I encourage you guys to really just, you know, be creative. And take what I'm teaching you and just make, make your own style, if you will. There's nothing wrong with that. That's really cool, I learned off of, I guess, some YouTube videos and as well, and just took what I learned from them and added to or took away, whatever I wanted in mine. So surely, you can do that, and there's nothing wrong with that. Okay, so we're going to take this little square that we got here and center it, and we're going to tuck the bottom in, and you're going to tuck the top in. Now, you want to make sure this is going to be long enough that it's going to go all the way to the paper, to like the back of the form you're using, or the Arabella form. You want to make sure, though, that your bead is not too wet, because you still want it to look on the sides like it sticks up. And you can feel free to pinch these if you want, so that it looks that way. I don't. Again, it's just my preference. But I've seen people do it, and they look really pretty either way. Okay, so there's your bow. And it is a 3D. It's, it's going to set higher off of the nail. And their side view should be pretty level, and it is. And that's all there is to it. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stop this video, and I will make another video, ladies, with you just making the bow on the form. So you can kind of see it's the same thing on the form, but it's just the process that we'll go through there. So I will make another video for you, those of you that don't have the Arabella forms. And as usual, I would like to thank you guys for watching this video and taking your time to. If you liked the video, hit like. If you would like to see more tutorials on how to make certain 3D things, I would encourage you to subscribe and check my videos often. Thanks, guys. Bye.